Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda, and this is my little corner of YouTube where I get to talk about all things books. The books that I love, the books that I hate, the books that I'm reading, the books that I think you should be reading, and hopefully just giving some helpful content for you and your reading journey. Today, we are going to be doing my January TBR. And I know what you're saying. You're about 10 days too late to hop on that train, Amanda. Well, I have a very good reason that we're doing it 10 days too late. I had my January book journey all set up where I was only going to be reading kind of what hit me in my mood. I'm a very big mood reader, and I had two big trips planned for work this month. And so I didn't want to plan anything too crazy. I didn't want to have this big stack of books that I had in my TBR for the month that I needed to read because I knew I was going to be busy. I knew I was going to be traveling. And so I was like, I'm just kind of going to go with the flow, read what I can, but I'm not going to stress about it. And then I got notified that both of my work trips had been reassigned. And now the whole month is stretched before me with no planned books. And so instead of having the whole month where I am not traveling, I'm just going to be at home. And as you all know, I am a chronic overthinker. If I don't have anything planned, nothing will get done. And so I am going to be doing a delayed, if you will, January TBR, where I am going to use my brand new TBR jar. I've never done anything like this before, so I'm super excited. And because it's a little bit later in the month now, not a lot, like I'm only like 9 or 10 days into the month, so we're not crazy here. And I've already read, I think, 3 books this month. So I'm like, as like far as a reading like journey goes for my month, I'm doing pretty good. But I want to have a bit of structure to this month since I am not going to be out of town and busy with work. I want to have something, again, just a little bit structured. And so we are going to be pulling a few little slips from my TBR jar to find out what I'm going to read this month. I'm very excited. Now, again, if you didn't see my video where I made this TBR jar, this is a prompt based TBR jar where this does not have specific titles of books. It has just prompts. You'll see kind of when we get into it, when I start pulling slips, you'll kind of understand a little bit more about how it works. But this is so that I have more flexibility in what I'm reading, again, because I'm such a big mood reader, that prompts are going to be way better for me in how I like to read. But obviously a TBR jar is very personalized. It's for you. You do you, boo, and make your reading journey how you want to do it. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so the way this is going to work is I've got 2 different colors of slips. I've got green slips, which are Kindle Unlimited prompts. I do have Kindle Unlimited, and I want to make sure that I'm utilizing that resource. And then I have orange slips, which are physical books, because I have a lot of those too. I want to make sure that I'm getting through my physical books as well. So I'm going to be pulling slips, reading the prompt, and then I will wander my library, either on my computer or in my library physically, and pick a book for that month. Once I pull a slip and I've chosen a book, I'm going to write the name of the book on the back of the slip, and then it's going to go inside my little basket where I can keep track of things. And then at the end of the year, I'll continuously put slips inside of another little jar so I can collect them. And then at the end of the year, I'll have a nice little wrap up where I can go and see what I read and what prompts it fulfilled. So let's do it. I am going to be pulling 3 green slips. So 3 Kindle Unlimited books. Hi, what are you doing in here interrupting mommy's video? And 2 yellow slips. So I'll have 5 books in total. And then the rest of the time, I'm just going to let my mood tell me where to go. So here is my first green slip. And this says a KU book that has read and listen for free narration option. Okay, I've never actually done a read and listen narration. I think that's WhisperSync. If that's incorrect, somebody let me know in the comments. But I believe the read and listen narration is also called WhisperSync. Okay, so that's my first one. I'm going to put that in my little basket. And he's left again. That was my dog. He likes to interrupt me, whatever I am doing. I'm just sticking my hand in here and grabbing something. Okay, so my next green slip says, a book from the top 100 KU list. Okay, that one will be fun. I have 100 books to pick from. Okay, that one goes in the basket. And then my last KU, a book from an indie author with fewer than 500 reviews. So as you can see, these are prompts, right? And so this is going to give me a lot of flexibility in the books that I get to choose. Okay, so those are my KUs. Okay, now we'll pick my orange slips for my physical books. And the first one is, oop, it's stuck to my green ones. Vampires or zombies. That'll be easy. I actually got a book in mind for that one. So, okay. That one goes in, and then we'll do one more physical book. Let's get an orange slip here. A hardcover. So if you've got physical books that are hardcovers and paperbacks, this is just a prompt to pick a hardcover as opposed to a paperback. I've got lots of hardcovers. Most of the books, the physical copy books that I have, are hardcovers. So this will be easy. Ooh, I don't know which one to pick. Okay, I'm gonna wander around and get on my computer and pick my books, and I will be right back.
A few moments later.
Okay, we are back, and I have my books. Let's just get right to it. All right, so first we have a physical book that is a hardcover. That was easy. I picked The Intruder by Freida McFadden. I actually got this book for Christmas. I love Freida McFadden. I really like her books. They're very quick, they're very punchy, they're very kind of grip you at the beginning, and then you just kind of go for a ride. And I really like that about her. I actually have no idea what this one is about. Like I said, I got it for Christmas, and I'm excited to read it. So this will be the book that I chose for that prompt. Next, for the physical book, we have Vampires or Zombies. And I chose Forged in Blood by Sadie Kincaid. This seems to be, isn't this a pretty book? I got this one for Christmas as well. Anyhoozle, so Ophelia is our female main character, and she is not living a great life. She is a foster kid. She barely graduated high school, but she wants to be a social worker. So she gets this unexpected opportunity to attend this really fancy university. So she obviously grabs at it, thinking that this is her chance. But at the university, she comes to the attention of 3 arrogant, ruthless commanders of the Ruby Dragon Society. They are vampires. They rule the campus. And apparently the campus is full of magical creatures such as witches, werewolves, dragons, obviously vampires. But Ophelia doesn't believe in any of it, and is just like, nope, I'm not going to get involved in any of this. But obviously things happen. There's dark forces at work, and so she's going to have to learn that this stuff is real. Vampires are real. Magic is real, because she obviously at some point she's going to have some role to play in helping protect the school from these dark forces. So that is Forged in Blood by Sadie Kincaid. And this is the first book in the Broken Bloodline series. I don't know how many books there are in this series, but this is the first one. Okay, for my Kindle Unlimited books, for the first one we have a book from an indie author with fewer than 500 reviews. I chose Grandma's House by Amy Tackett. This is a short horror slasher novel that is apparently about a family reunion gone horribly wrong. This family goes to a cabin in the woods to celebrate their Christmas, and they're baking cookies and doing all the Christmassy things, and this elderly person wanders into the cabin, It's not clear if there is like dementia involved or something, but this elderly person decides that they are trespassing. It is her cabin, and things go terribly wrong after that. So this is an author I've never heard of, obviously an indie author, but I guess in the slasher circles, this is a very popular book, and so I'm excited to read it. Editor Amanda here. Let's talk for just a second about Grandma's House by Amy Tackett. So this book was not a book at all. It was actually a very short story. It was only 28 pages. It was not a family reunion in a cabin as I thought it was, but it did have the same kind of horror elements. It was about a couple who lived in this home. They were getting ready for a romantic evening together. It was Christmas time. She was baking cookies, getting ready for her husband to come home, or I guess her boyfriend to come home, and was kind of in the holiday spirit. He comes home from work. They're sitting down having dinner, and this old woman comes in and is very confused because she believes that this is her house and that these two are trespassing and that they don't belong here. And at first, you think that this old woman, like she must have dementia or Alzheimer's, and um, just is confused and isn't sure exactly what's going on. And so the couple is trying to be very understanding, trying to help, not trying to aggravate her. They want to call the police so that they can get her help, but they have a very strict policy of no phones at dinner so that they can, concentrate on each other. And so their phones are upstairs and away from them. And all of a sudden, things go wrong. And it is only 28 pages. And so I read it in like 20 minutes, maybe like 15 minutes. It didn't take me very long at all. And at the end of the book, I was like, what the hell? So I am not counting that because that like was not even a book at all. So I have chosen another book that has less than 500 reviews. It is called Tasting Red by Holly Robards. It is a shifter romance. It is a retelling of Red Riding Hood. And it is supposed to be, from what I understand, it is supposed to be kind of a fun, kind of a dry, witty humor, snappy, very strong female main character meets a wolf shifter, and they're kind of enemies to lovers type thing. So I've chosen that on Kindle Unlimited. That is going to be my book. I checked, it is 356 pages. So this is not just a small little book. So, editor Amanda signing out. Okay, we have a book from the top 100 KU list, and I chose Hemlock. I'm putting images up right here for you so that you can see since they're on Kindle Unlimited, by Kiersten Modglin. I'm probably saying that completely wrong, and I'm very sorry. Apparently, this is kind of a combination of thriller and romance about a woman who leaves her small town because there's just too many secrets, too many um, poisonous things that are not allowing her to be in her town. And so she leaves. She leaves behind the people that she loves. And anyway, years later, she's back in her small town. She's just closed on a house, and there are strange goings on in the home. There's weird smells, there's bizarre noises, there's weird things going on. And she realizes that in order to build a life in this home and in this town, she's going to have to unbury her past and unbury these secrets in order to overcome whatever bizarre things are happening in this house or whatever it is that is apparently haunting her, haunting the home. Not exactly sure, but it sounds like a combination of thriller, romance. She goes back to her small town and the person that she loved is still there. So, like, second chance romance. But then we also have kind of this I'm not sure if it's like haunted house kind of horror element. So I'm not exactly sure how that's going to play into it. So I'm excited to read that one as well. And then lastly, we have a KU book that has the read and listen for free narration. So I did have to look at this. It is, I guess it is not the same as Whisper Sync, because I did try to look up Kindle Unlimited Whisper Sync and it didn't pull up anything. And so then I tried Kindle Unlimited with read and listen narration and it pulled up a whole bunch of things for me. And so I guess there is a difference between it. So just for your FYI, the book I chose was Dear Enemy by Kristen Callihan. Kristen Callihan, not Kiersten Callihan. But I have two books this time with a Kiersten and a Kristen. Anyway, I'm confusing myself. But this is by Kristen Callihan. This is a romance book. This is about a woman who kind of had a crush on her sister's boyfriend when they were teens, and her sister and her did not get along, and so her sister and her boyfriend, the boy she had a crush on, treated her really terribly, and so she decided that she hated him, kind of this enemies thing going on. And so they, parted ways when they grew up, and now it's 10 years later, and the boy, the ex-boyfriend of her sister, reaches out to her and says that her sister has stolen from him and has now gone to ground. No one can find her, but he is very upset. The thing that she stole from him is worth a lot of money. And so he says that she needs to, number one, find her sister and bring her back. And number two, that she needs to compensate him, not money, but in time. She is a chef. And so she decides that she's going to be his personal chef, and so goes to work for him while trying to find her sister to try and bring her to justice for stealing from him. And obviously, the more time they spend together, this kind of forced proximity romance feelings develop. And so it is kind of an enemies to lovers, forced proximity, contemporary romance. So those are my 5 books that I pulled out of my TBR jar. I'm excited to read them. If I decide to read anything else, it will be purely mood based. And yeah, I will let you know at the end of the month how it goes and what I thought about the books. And until next time, I will see you then.